What used to be the fuselage is now thousands of small pieces of twisted metal, scattered hundreds of yards from each other. The passengers can only be identified using DNA testing.
We're trying to find the remains of our son, but I doubt we'll succeed. It won't bring our son back. The wreckage has scattered so far. We don't know what happened to him, but he's no longer alive, that's for sure.
My daughter and son-in-law were there.
The relatives have been offered free accommodation, counselling and compensation totaling $80,000 for each victim. But what they long for is the answer to what happened on the night of September 12th. Flight 821 was just minutes away from landing when communication with the control tower was lost. The plane descended at a sharp angle before crashing into a railway line on the outskirts of Perm.
I was at work. Suddenly I heard a very loud noise. I saw a fire and sparks flying all over the place. I thought that one of the houses exploded. My wife and I hurried to get here.
I was standing by the window and heard the noise as if a helicopter was crashing down. Then I saw a jet of flame, and that's it.
I felt the explosion. I jumped in my bed. Then my daughter ran in from the other room and was shouting that a war had probably broken out. The witnesses say that it caught fire when it was still in the sky and looked like a comet. The blaze was horrendous. It lit up the sky.
Although mechanical failure has been described as the most likely cause, the investigators are refusing to rule out the human factor. The testimony of the controller on duty that night raises serious questions.
The pilot was behaving in an unusual manner. He wasn't following my instructions. Something was happening, but he didn't want to say anything, or probably was hiding something. I told them to turn right, but the pilot turned left. When they were around 600 meters, the pilot made a cry, and then I saw a flash somewhere over the city. I understood they fell to the ground.
This is the latest in a line of fatal crashes that have plagued carriers in the former Soviet Union. Lax safety standards, old planes, terrorist attacks, and sometimes pilot recklessness have been the prime reasons. National Carrier Aeroflot has been quick to divorce itself from the subsidiary that ran the flight.
We decided to cut off our cooperation with Aeroflot Nord. All flights will be taken by Aeroflot proper. We have paid too big a price for providing our logo to the company.
But Russia's transport minister denies there is a fundamental problem in the industry.
The plane that took off from Moscow to Perm was in good technical condition and fully in accordance with the standards set for this kind of plane. What happened today is a tragedy, but it doesn't signify a crisis in the civil air aviation system.
The Boeing 737 is a mainstay of Russia's passenger fleet. The plane that crashed was 16 years old and had been leased by the Aeroflot subsidiary from a Chinese company this year. It had a perfect safety record. Now it is the flight recorders that will most likely reveal what exactly went wrong.
In the coming weeks, once the forensic tests have been completed, the Russian airlines industry will face another period of rigorous self-examination. But of course today is not about them, it is about those who lost their relatives in the crash. Igor Gorodnev.